The air in Arena Mexico was electric, thick with anticipation. Every seat was filled, every eye fixed on the ring, as if the entire city had gathered for this one night. The energy was palpable, a living force that seemed to pulse through the walls and into the hearts of everyone present. Thousands of fans packed the venue, their voices a constant roar that echoed off the rafters. Flags waved, banners unfurled, and chants rose in unison, creating a symphony of excitement. For many, this was more than just a wrestling match. It was a celebration of culture, of heroes, and of dreams. Tonight was historic. A clash of worlds, a meeting of legends. The ring, bathed in bright lights and swirling haze, stood as the battleground where destinies would be decided. The stakes were higher than ever, and the atmosphere was thick with the promise of something unforgettable. The challenger's music hit. Mercedes Moné, the CEO, made her grand debut, bathed in blue and gold light. The crowd's reaction was a mix of awe and curiosity as she stepped onto the ramp with the confidence of someone who had conquered the world, yet still had something to prove. She moved with confident swagger, her gear a tribute to Lucha Libre, her eyes filled with determination. Every step she took was deliberate, a statement that she respected the traditions of this legendary arena, but was here to carve her own legacy. Moné high-fived fans, soaking in the energy, ready to prove herself on this legendary stage. She smiled at the young fans in the front row, knowing that tonight she could inspire a new generation. The cheers fueled her, but so did the pressure. She was an outsider, and she knew she had to earn every ounce of respect. Suddenly, darkness. The champion's music thundered, shaking the arena to its core. The lights shifted, and the mood changed instantly. Anticipation turned to reverence as the crowd prepared to welcome their queen. Zeuxis, la diosa de la lucha libre, strode out. CMLL Women's World Championship gleaming at her waist. Her presence was commanding, her reputation legendary. She was more than a champion. She was a symbol of pride for the people who filled the arena. Her entrance was all business, her mask fierce, her eyes burning with resolve. Every movement radiated confidence and focus, as if she carried the weight of her country's hopes on her shoulders. She was here to defend her title, her honor, and her legacy. The local fans erupted. She was their champion, their warrior. Their cheers were deafening, a wall of sound that seemed to lift her up and push her forward. For them, Zeuxis was more than a wrestler. She was a hero, a living legend who represented their dreams and aspirations. Zeuxis entered the ring, holding the title high, staring daggers at Moné. The tension between them was electric, a silent promise that neither would back down. The crowd held its breath, sensing that history was about to be made. The message was clear. This was her house, her title. She stood tall, unyielding, daring anyone to challenge her reign. The ring was her kingdom, and tonight she would defend it with everything she had. Two of the best female wrestlers on the planet, face to face. Their rivalry was more than personal. It was a battle of styles, of cultures, of legacies. Each woman had traveled a long, difficult road to reach this moment, and neither was willing to let it slip away. The stage was set for an epic confrontation. Under the bright lights, with the world watching, two warriors prepared to write the next chapter in wrestling history. The bell was about to ring, and nothing would ever be the same. Two champions, two worlds. Mercedes Moné, IWGP Women's Champion, brought a hybrid style. Japanese strong style, American flair, global technical prowess. She'd conquered Japan, now she sought CML's crown. Zeuxis, the powerhouse Ruda, embodied Lucha Libre tradition and CML's legacy. For her, this was about defending more than a title, it was about honor. Moné's modern global belt met Zeuxis' storied championship. New school versus old school, global fame versus tradition. The crowd was split, chants of Moné and Zeuxis clashed in the air. The referee raised both belts. Only one would stand tall tonight. The bell rang. The crowd erupted. Moné and Zeuxis circled, eyes locked, tension thick. They tied up, neither giving an inch. Zeuxis muscled Moné to the ropes, but Moné spun out, locking in a tight headlock. Zeuxis powered out, sending Moné to the ropes. Moné ducked a clothesline, grabbed a waistlock, but Zeuxis blocked the suplex. Zeuxis countered, lifting Moné in a show of strength. Moné escaped, rolling Zeuxis up for a quick 1 count. Both sprang to their feet, staring each other down. The opening exchange, a draw. They'd tested strength, speed, and skill, both elite. The crowd roared, knowing they were witnessing greatness. Respect was earned in those first minutes. The real battle was just beginning. The pace quickened. Moné unleashed a relentless flurry of forearms, each strike echoing through the arena and forcing Zeuxis back, step by step, until she was trapped in the corner. The crowd's energy surged with every blow, their cheers growing louder as Moné's determination became clear. This was no ordinary exchange. This was a battle of wills, with both women refusing to give an inch. Seizing the moment, Moné whipped Zeuxis across the ring with a burst of speed, then charged in and launched herself for a meteora, her knees crashing into Zeuxis' chest with thunderous impact. The force of the move left the crowd gasping, and for a split second, it seemed like the match might be over right there. Moné wasted no time, hooking the leg and covering Zeuxis. The referee slid into position. 1, 2. Zeuxis powered out just in time, refusing to let the match slip away. The tension in the arena was palpable, every fan on the edge of their seat. Zeuxis, battered but not beaten, rolled to the apron, trying to catch her breath. But Moné was relentless, charging at her opponent with everything she had, determined to keep the pressure on. In a split-second counter, Zeuxis grabbed the top rope and yanked it down, sending Moné tumbling hard to the unforgiving floor below. The impact echoed through the arena, drawing gasps from the crowd. The CMLL faithful erupted, their cheers shaking the building as Zeuxis seized control of the match. The momentum had shifted, and the energy in Arena Mexico was electric. Sensing her opportunity, Zeuxis climbed the turnbuckle, her eyes locked on Moné outside the ring. With breathtaking athleticism, she launched herself into a moonsault, soaring through the air and crashing down onto Moné. The crowd roared in disbelief at the high-risk maneuver. Both women lay sprawled on the floor, the toll of the match written across their faces. Officials and medics rushed to check on them, the sense of danger and drama reaching a fever pitch. For a moment, it was unclear if either competitor would be able to continue. But Zeuxis, showing incredible resilience, was the first to her feet. She dragged Moné back into the ring, summoning every ounce of strength for a desperate pin attempt. The referee counted. 1, 2. Moné kicked out at the last possible moment, barely escaping defeat. The crowd's reaction was deafening, disbelief and excitement mixing in the air. Arena Mexico exploded at the near fall, fans leaping to their feet, their voices rising in a chorus of support and astonishment. The stakes had never felt higher. The match had reached a new level of drama. Every move, every counter, every gasp from the crowd added to the spectacle. The atmosphere was electric, the tension almost unbearable. Both women showed the effects of the battle, sweat pouring, chest heaving, eyes locked in mutual respect and defiance. They had pushed each other to the limit, and neither was willing to back down. The crowd was on fire, sensing something special was unfolding before their eyes. The momentum swung wildly from one competitor to the other. Every move mattered now, every second counted, and the fans knew they were witnessing something unforgettable. The fight was far from over. Both Moné and Zeuxis dug deep, ready to give everything they had left. The next moments would decide not just the match, but their legacies in the ring. The match slowed, turning into a war of submissions. Zeuxis targeted Moné's back, wrenching her into a deep Boston crab. Moné crawled inch by inch to the ropes, barely escaping. Zeuxis transitioned to a lion tamer, but Moné refused to tap. With a desperate lunge, Moné grabbed the bottom rope. Moné fought back with kicks, then hit a dragon screw, taking Zeuxis down. She locked in a figure 4, bridging for extra pain. Zeuxis writhed, but wouldn't submit. With grit, Zeuxis reversed the hold, both women screaming in pain. They broke free, exhausted but unbroken. The battle of wills raged on. Exhaustion set in, but neither would quit. Every breath was a struggle, every movement a test of willpower. The crowd sensed the gravity of their moment, their anticipation building with each passing second. Both competitors had already pushed their bodies to the limit, but the desire to win burned brighter than their fatigue. On their knees they traded forearms, each shot echoing through the arena. The sound of flesh meeting flesh reverberated, drawing gasps and cheers from the audience. Neither woman backed down, their faces etched with pain and determination. Moné staggered Zeuxis, then hit a springboard tornado DDT. The move was executed with precision, showcasing Moné's agility and resilience. The crowd erupted as Zeuxis crashed to the mat, stunned by the sudden impact. She covered. 1, 2, Zeuxis barely kicked out. The referee's hand hovered just inches from the mat, but Zeuxis summoned the strength to escape at the last possible moment. The audience was on the edge of their seats, unable to believe what they were witnessing. Moné climbed for her Moné Maker splash, but Zeuxis knocked her off balance. The struggle on the ropes was tense, each woman fighting for control in a precarious position high above the ring. Both battled atop the ropes, trading punches dangerously high. The risk was immense, but neither hesitated. Every punch thrown was a gamble, threatening to send them both crashing down. Zeuxis stunned Moné with a headbutt, then delivered a spectacular Spanish fly. The move was breathtaking, a display of athleticism and courage that left the crowd in awe. Both crashed to the mat. Zeuxis draped an arm over Moné. The exhaustion was evident, their bodies barely able to move after such a high-impact maneuver. 1, 2, Moné kicked out at the last millisecond. The crowd exploded, disbelief and excitement mixing in the air. It was a testament to Moné's heart and refusal to give in. The arena erupted in disbelief. Fans leapt to their feet, hands on their heads, unable to process the resilience on display. The energy in the building was electric. Every fan invested in the outcome. The stakes had never been higher. Every move, every counter, every near fall could decide the fate of the match and the championship itself. Both women were running on fumes. Sweat dripped from their brows, their chests heaving as they struggled to stand. Yet their eyes never left each other, locked in a battle of wills. Every near fall brought the crowd to its feet. The tension was palpable, each close call sending shockwaves through the arena. Fans shouted encouragement, willing their favorite to find that last ounce of strength. The end felt near, but neither would surrender. Their determination was unbreakable, their spirits refusing to be crushed by pain or exhaustion. The match had become a classic, a testament to the heart, skill, and resilience of both competitors. In this unforgettable battle, every second mattered, and the world watched in awe. Both women lay spent, but the fight continued. They pulled themselves up, trading desperate slaps and chops. Moné ducked a wild swing, hooked Zeuxis' head, setting up the Moné maker. She drove her knees into Zeuxis' back, transitioning to the bank statement. The crowd screamed for a tap out. Zeuxis fought, refusing to let Moné lock it in. With a burst of strength, Zeuxis rolled Moné into a flash pin. 1, 2. Moné kicked out. Zeuxis hoisted Moné for the cabalet piledriver. The crowd sensed the end. Moné fought back, raining elbows, slipping free. Both women staggered, searching for one last move. The tension was unbearable. Every second felt like an eternity. The final climactic struggle was at hand. Only one would survive this war. The final sequence was a blur. Pure instinct, pure heart. Moné spun Zeuxis, kicked her in the gut, and hit a devastating lung-blower neck-breaker combo. She collapsed onto Zeuxis for the pin. The referee counted 1, 2. The crowd screamed, breath held. The referee's hand hovered, then slammed down. 3! The bell rang. It was over. Both women lay motionless, too exhausted to celebrate. The referee raised the victor's arm. The crowd's reaction was a tidal wave. Cheers, boos, shock, respect. Money rained into the ring, a sign of ultimate respect. The championship was presented. The story of this legendary night was complete. After the bell, the victor rose slowly, championship in hand. No grand celebration, just exhaustion and relief. The defeated wrestler sat, absorbing the moment, pain and pride mingling. The crowd chanted their name, honoring the effort. The champion looked across the ring. No words, just a silent exchange. It wasn't about sportsmanship, but something deeper, unspoken respect. They had pushed each other to new heights. The champion exited, title held close. The other wrestler stood, receiving a standing ovation. Both had earned the world's respect. As the lights faded, one question lingered. What comes next after a war like this? Stay tuned for the next chapter in these chronicles of the Squared Circle.